Yo, gents, we are opening with a banger comment there with Jason Sergel. Glory, Man United. Glory, Man United. Gentlemen, in the house today, we've got Musa.
And the Reds keep marching on, guys. Yeah, say the full song, guys.
How come you're not joining in there with the festivities, champ?
Quite. But as you can see, guys, we've got 5 members in here. We've got Selo Lolo Kala, a happy Red Devil supporter here today. We've got the King of the North, Nick Starthard. I said Starcard. I'm sure you can get some stock in the back there with Nick. You've got Musa Sisele, and then you've got the warmest head in town, guys, looking for that beanie sponsor, Wonga Dinga, representing yet again. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome.
Musa's loud for a guy who couldn't win an FA Cup.
Can I just say something? And Selo, you just took the words out of my mouth. You spoke so much about bottling the other night with Leicester, and it just looks like you bottled this one last night, bro.
So, we bottled it badly.
We bottled it,
bro.
Yeah, we pulled a Chelsea, like clear Chelsea, a clear Chelsea. We bottled it.
Glory, Man United. Love it. Keep going. Yes,
man.
Nah, it's done.
Yeah.
So Ole out after that performance, after the substitutions which took place.
You know what? Musa is just jumping straight in it. He wants you to answer questions right now. Never mind Ole facing the music. He's giving you the music. You need to start playing that violin. Where's Scotty with his little violin? Where's that guy?
I think with Solskjaer, he needs to answer to the fans and answer why didn't he make a sub in 90 minutes. Players get tired eventually over time, and you just need to freshen things up in whatever way possible. And he didn't do that, so he needs to make an answer for that. But it's something that I think he's always had an issue with. The craziest thing is Solskjaer is one of the best ever super subs that football has seen. And he cannot even effectively use his bench. Not even one sub. Whereas Unai Emery used 5 substitutions. He used the full complement of 5 that you can make in the Europa League. Ole made 0 subs. It just shows you as a manager in terms of managing the game. The man is clueless. You have to bring on something. Like, look at Rashford. Rashford had a very poor performance yesterday. That's the first person I would have taken off. What does he do? He just persists with him because why? He thinks that he thinks he might do something. At the end of the day, you need to be brave enough to make subs. And if you can't make those big decisions as a manager at a big club, you don't deserve to be in the hot seat. So I think that performance.
But it felt like, sorry, Selo, it did look like he was sitting in a hot seat though yesterday. From first half, he looked panicked. I don't know if maybe it was just me, but he looked panicked. Did anyone else see that?
Is it his first final?
Well.
No, it's not his first final. It's his first final with Man United. He's won the.
No, we're not talking about Norway. where they get the
history books.
Where they get the plumbers and the electricians to play against each other.
But you do.
Claudio will tell you about that. He played with them when he went there.
No, man, but you do know that you do know that the guy won Mulder's first league title ever. So at least he did something with a team that hadn't won a league. So, but I think he left a lot of questions, unanswered in terms of what he can do in the hot seat. But I think it just shows that he's not the person to take us forward. I think rather try to make substitutions, and then we can say at least you tried. You tried to bring on X, Y, and Z player. Even if you brought in Dan James, I wouldn't have minded if you brought Dan James. Dan James is a limited footballer, but at least he would have brought on fresh legs. Someone just to run at the defense. Whereas Rashford
quick question.
was making the wrong decisions. Musa, just wait. I'll give you a chance soon. So just switch things up. you can't just persist with the guys that have started the game if you've got a full complement of a bench where you can just try and do something different. You know, Donny van de Beek, Donny didn't even come on at all. Hey man, so hey man, I literally I don't have any more trust in Solskjaer because of the way he went about managing that game. You know, it's not more about the result, but it's just the way he managed the game. If he had managed the game in a different manner, and we see that, okay, cool, he managed the game in a different manner, and then the better team won, then I would say, okay, sharp, the better team won. But it's just the way he managed the game was very poor. There was an opportunity to try and grab a second goal after our first goal. You know, Villarreal was on the back foot, and yeah, man, I think an experienced manager and a manager that smells blood would have done things differently. So I think, yeah, man,
like a former Arsenal manager. Imagine.
Yeah, man. You know, hey, man. But you know, but you know,
good evening.
Good evening, gents. I actually wanted. I should have opened that one.
He's the most successful Europa League manager in history. So I think that competition was made for him. 4 times a winner. He's lost the final with Arsenal, so he's been to the final countless times. I think he's won. He's got probably the most wins in that competition. But yeah. Musa, you can ask your question now.
I've got 2.
Sorry, Nick. Sorry, guys. I just want to say shout out to M Dog Uru for making another appearance. That's 2 from 2 for the man. His name is Michael. Thank you for joining us. Okay,
how's it,
as
Michael?
you were, Nick. Yes, guys. Can you give a little shout out to Michael there?
Whoop whoop, Mr. Michael. My first question is easy, Silo. Is that
wait, Musa, wait. Your question or Nick's question? One of you. I don't know. Do we have to stick our hands up?
Musa was.
Okay, you go. One initial, then Nick, I'm sure, can follow up, and then I'll jump back on.
All right, fair enough. Go ahead.
My first one, is that officially the latest substitution that Ole has ever made in his life? Like, did he just wait for it to the end of the game to make his substitutions?
That guy didn't even make the sub at the start of the extra time. He made the sub after 10 minutes in extra time. 10 minutes in extra time. That's ridiculous, bro. Are you telling me that people aren't tired? These guys have had a full season, and you decide not to take them off in the 70th minute just to bring on fresh legs. He just lets people play. And you get tired as a footballer, right? Like, no matter what, man. I understand that. You know that football is you have to be prepared for extra time, but not all 11 players are going to be now playing 90 minutes and then still playing another 10 minutes. So they played 100. They played 100 minutes. Come on, man. That's yeah.
But let me put this one out there. Let me put this out there. And it might be controversial, Selo and Wonga, actually.
Wonga, what's going on here, man? Because we've got another comment. Yeah.
Wonga, I think maybe if you stuck with your previous manager,
Emery,
you might have been beaten Man United last night. You might have got to that final and beat him. So that's my first comment. And then my second comment is, we're talking about...
They fired him too early.
We're talking about De Gea being this machine of a goalkeeper, but I think if Henderson played that final, he would have scored. And he would have saved one, and he would have won the trophy. So you don't have the best keeper in goals. Henderson should have played, bro. Come on.
No, he shouldn't. Henderson shouldn't have played the final. But maybe he could have been subbed on for the penalties. Similar to what Van Gaal did in the World Cup, where he brought on Tim Krul for penalty shootout. You know, I think Henderson definitely has a better record in penalty saving penalties than De Gea. I think with the penalties that went through, I think there was one that went under his hand. You know what I mean? I think at least save that ball. You know what I mean?
I think that was the only one he kind of got right. I think he was dreadful.
I think no, there was two. But
there were excellent penalties.
I think there was
some of them.
The goalkeeper's one was unreal.
At the end,
that was good.
That's how you take penalties, guys.
That's a goal kick.
That's how you take it.
That was a good penalty.
You saw all that other funny shit that happened. So it was. Well, I mean, look. To be fair, they all scored last night, which is incredible. But the safest bet, and I was taught, was you find the valve of the ball, you put it down, you have Paul Scholes-esque sort of penalty. You pick a spot and you smash it. And that keeper didn't look. That looked. You know what it looked like? It looked like he was having a goal kick into the back of the net. That's what it looked like.
That was a goal kick. It's like a goal kick where you're hitting a low ball to try and go into someone's chest. If that ball continued going, it would find someone's chest probably. That was a penalty. But yeah, I think Solskjaer. Yeah, I mean, just decision. The subs even didn't make sense. You know what I mean? He brings on Fred for Greenwood. Like, that doesn't make sense. And then Shab, you bring on Dan
what was he trying to achieve there? He was trying. Musa said it last night. He was aiming. He was gunning for penalties. That's what he was doing. Like, why would you bring Fred?
I don't know. That doesn't make sense. You know, I understand if you bring on Fred for McTominay, that's a direct swap. You know what I mean? But now you bring on him for Greenwood. Greenwood would have still had 20 more minutes to try to do something in the game, and Greenwood had a better game than Rashford.
Yeah.
He leaves Rashford on the field.
He was more menacing.
Then eventually it's a matter of I'm keeping Rashford on the field for penalties. That's fucking bullshit. That's a loser mentality, and he must just fuck off and like it's just
man is not happy.
No, he must.
I'd like to apologize for any kids watching.
Yeah, sorry for any kids watching.
He's my young cousin, so I'm just putting that one out there.
Sorry guys. Sorry about that.
But he must fuck off.
It's for the fans. But I think man, he needs to you look at that performance from a managerial standpoint, guys, and that is just one of the glaring things that just happened in that game is the lack of substitutions. Like, you literally, that is one thing that you have at disposal as a coach to try change things. You know what I mean? You get to 1-1. You get to 1-1 at 50-something minutes. Then you let it go maybe for another 15 minutes and see what's happening. Okay, sharp. Then maybe things are not changing. Then you try press on when Villarreal are on the ropes. But you just let things go and you don't even change things up. Nothing. You're not inventive. Like, actually, I wish yesterday that Martial was available, because that's the only player I think he trusts to actually come on as a sub. But it's just unfortunately it's just not available. Like, that's the only player I could have thought he would have brought on, but that guy was not fit. Like, because everyone else seems like he doesn't trust, or he doesn't believe.
No, he clearly doesn't trust. I think that's the right word. He clearly doesn't trust. It goes back to the point with you guys talking about Donny van der Beek, for example, not being used this whole season. Wasn't he signing?
Wasn't he signing?
But still, like, you've got the player there. Why aren't you using him? Villarreal, for example, at that moment in time, in extra time, had already made 5 substitutions. They were fresh. They were going. They were ready. You know, it's one of those. Yeah, it's bizarre, man.
That start of that extra time. Villarreal were the better team in that extra time, whereas Man United were the better team in the second half. Man United should have made the subs.
Villarreal also sat in though. They had a low block of notes.
They did have a low block.
Which is fair enough. Why would you not have a low block? Man United have played like that the whole season, and their strength is the counter-attack. So if you're removing that option from them, what else are they going to do? And that speaks to what Pumulani's saying, is their lack of tactical planning. Emery was like, well, screw it. We know they can play one way. If we take the game to them, we're going to be in big trouble. So let them come to us. And they got their reward at the end of the day. You know, it's one of those things. Look, and also only two shots on target the whole game for United is also disappointing. The one thing I want to ask is that, jeepers, that's crazy. But then also, if we're looking at Rashford, okay. Who wants to go there? Everyone's excited today. Wonga also he wants to say something.
No, sorry. Everything is late. No, carry on.
Coming into the game, we were very excited, or Man United fans at least were very excited about their chances about winning this final because of this dynamic.
They had already won it. They had
won it. Celo was
they'd won it last week. and
but
Villarreal came to the party very well.
Everyone's confident about their team, guys. I think that except for Musa going into Saturday, but everyone else is everyone else is confident about their team.
I'm confident about my
team. But yeah, man, I think some of the pundits are quite disrespectful. I think English pundits as a whole, not just about Man United, just as a whole in terms of when they play other European teams. They underestimate certain leagues. Maybe due to the performance,
clubs,
maybe due to the performance of the top teams in those leagues. For instance, saying that Barcelona and Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid didn't do okay. Real Madrid at least went to semifinals, but that doesn't you can't disregard a team. You get to a final, it's 11 men against 11 men. It's all about the team that wants it at the end of the day. Villarreal was very prepared. The first goal, what a great set piece. Four guys against eight Man United players, but literally a well-worked set piece. There was another one that happened in the second half, another well-worked free kick. So Emery came there prepared. He knew Man United's very poor in set pieces, and his set pieces were precise. I think they had a couple of chances on the set pieces, and it just shows it's all about planning for a game, and the tactics in the game, and the subs and so on, and the players who are hungry for it. And at the end of the day, they would deserve the winners.
League. And generally in the Champions League, you find there's different styles and different flavors of football that happens
100%.
in different regions. And those tactics come to fruition in big games where they show you that this is their style, this is their approach, and this is how they overwhelm the next team going into the finals. I think Villarreal did their job extremely well. They look smart in a lot of positions. They look confident in a lot of positions. They weren't going all out, punch for punch against Man United on the day. They were picking their opportunities a lot better, a lot more structured. And man, on the tactical side, they showed Man United how difficult it is to beat some of these teams in Europe.
But they even said, I saw a stat that said, was it 15, 16 years? Can't remember exactly, but they said last 15 years, every final where there's been Spanish and English.
It's the last 20 games.
Every final.
They said the last 20 finals, I think.
No, I think it's just years, 15 years. They said in the past 15 years, the finals, because there were only like 8 of them, where they had an English and a Spanish team, and the Spanish team always came out on top, regardless of who they were. So you get post calls saying something like that before a match.
Oh yeah, what I wanted to say actually is that Spanish teams, when they've been in the final, they've won the last 20 finals, and the only time a Spanish team has lost was Atletico Madrid, and they lost to Real Madrid. So they've won 20 finals.
That's a record,
if a Spanish team is in a European final, they win it. Last 20 of them they won.
Wow,
that's
actually impressive. Yeah.
That shows, that shows the mentality of those teams. They shouldn't be underestimated, whether it's a Villarreal, Sevilla, Barça, Atletico, or Real Madrid. I think it shows their pedigree as a league. To obviously get over the line, and also it's football is a game of there's talent, but there's also tactics as well, and it shows that the superiority in terms of tactics can take you far. I think if Newcastle had a tactician, they could have been in top 10.
But about the tactician,
why are you bringing my team into this? Your team lost.
They're pulling us in and out here. I've seen them, bro.
Can I tell you what we have in common here, Silo? It was both a trophyless season for both of our teams. So we both competed in the Premier League next year.
And so on that basis, would you consider then your season as Man United to be a successful season, since it's kind of concluded now? Everything has been done. You came out second in the league, and now you've come out second in Europa, and no silverware in the back. What do you take away from that?
Do you know what that actually means, Musa? I think that means the first loser for both of those competitions.
in every competition.
Silo switched off, guys. I think I do want to mention this one fact that where Silo is saying...
The thing is, I was just trying. Someone was calling me twice, so I was just trying to see what's up.
Sure. Okay. But I just want to mention the fact that we've got Villarreal and Silo saying, these sort of sides do get underestimated, primarily by the English press, or maybe by the globe as a whole, because we only watch most of us watch the Premier League, and we tend to neglect the other leagues. But when we're looking at a player like Moreno, their striker last night, he's scored a total of 30 goals this season. That's a player who's gone completely under the radar. He's made it to the final. No one said a word about him. All of a sudden, he's there and he scores again. And I'm telling you, people will be looking at him next season. I think he's in the latter parts of his career, but there's something there and there's something behind that, which brings me to the next question. When we're looking at a Rashford, was last night not like a case in point for that type of player and his capability? I don't think he's ever going to be as peak as, he's never going to be as lethal as what he should be for a number 9.
Rashford's not number 9. Who says
but what I'm saying in front of goal, last night, had he taken that chance, you guys win the trophy. He doesn't take that. So is it time to start looking for other players?
That was offside.
Offside.
But it's just the essence of him not finishing it, nonetheless.
But still,
Wait, Rongo, what do you want to say?
I think you're raising, the point that you raise is very, I don't know, it's very weak. The question that you asked, I think you must go revisit.
You must get it in the gym, Claude.
You must go visit the numbers, man. Go revisit the numbers, Rashford's numbers for the season, and then come back with a different question.
For me, it's not about numbers so much. Hold on, Mosa. For me, it's not so much about numbers. It's more about the fact that if the player's in the final, regardless offside or not offside, if there's I'd rather have a player, and there have been players like this throughout history that don't necessarily have the greatest numbers, but you can count on them in the biggest games that help win the trophies at the end of the day. And what I'm asking, my question that you're saying is very weak. What I'm asking is he capable of being that player in the final that will bring a trophy home? And that's what I'm asking.
He is.
And
you believe that?
Well.
I believe that.
Okay. Wonga, you believe that? Nick, you believe that? Also, you believe that?
Have you seen his numbers this season, though?
I think
I'm not worried about the numbers.
In big games against big teams.
There was a final. There was a final last night. Did they win it? Did they do something?
He's been injured for the second half of the season, Claudio. He's one other.
I'm asking the other gents. Let them weigh in as well.
But he's won other trophies. You know what I mean? I think your argument, it's almost to say that you're looking at Rashford as a player to say that he had a bad game yesterday, and then that bad game alone is your argument to say that is he the right player for big games. You don't look at the time when he tore apart Trent Alexander-Arnold and played against he scored against Man City countless times. So does that not show he's a big game player?
So those games against Man City and Liverpool, did that win them a trophy?
No, it didn't. It won them a game.
That's my point. That's all I'm asking. That's all my question is.
But it's a consistency of a team. But he in the big games, he's shown up. Is that not a big game, Claudio? Is that not a big game to say that Man United is playing Man City?
I'm talking silverware. Can you
count? Listen, okay, so who scored?
Ronaldo. Let's talk about Ronaldo. Let's talk about what I'm saying is let's talk about Ronaldo.
Who scored for Liverpool against Spurs? Who scored for Liverpool?
My point is, if Liverpool play,
Divock Origi scored. Not Salah. That means Salah.
That's why he got his contract dropped.
Yeah, but that's why Origi was still at the club and earned him another year because he comes on and gets something. It's got nothing to do with. I'm asking the question. Look at the metric in which I'm asking.
I think.
Can you rely in the big game?
What
you know what? I've asked the question to everyone else.
I think. Look,
you can.
Rashford is for me. I think Rashford. If you look at the way he's also progressed through Man United, I mean the things you hear about him when he was also in the academy years. I think he's the kind of player. Well, he is the kind of player that improves on his game. You know. You're getting if you look at someone like Bale, and like Bale improved on his game when he was put out on the wing. Then you look at someone like also like Theo Walcott, right? Who also had this sort of promise. Maybe it's also the English media or whatnot. But you can't tell me if he worked on his game, then wow. But look, I don't think he worked on his game hard enough. Theo Walcott.
Guys, we're beating around the bush here. We're not answering his question yet.
Yeah, for flip's sake, we've got one guy who's answered the question, and he was defiant about that. That was Silo.
If I'm going to be honest with you, out of those two players, if you look at the players on the pitch, Rashford or Cavani, if I had to say who was going to win a final, just on paper, on performance as well, I would say Cavani. Cavani is the one who's going to win the trophy.
Yeah.
But Rashford,
And
I think
that's the
potential.
difficulty.
He does have potential to win Man United something. In
He
the future.
does.
It's not
But that's
plain
the
and
difficulty
dusted.
of like
That's what I'm saying.
them at Man United right now. The fact that Man United isn't winning any silverware already makes it difficult to see the individual players kind of like producing those moments of winning silverware performances. Like if you were to ask that about players at Man City, Liverpool right now, you could quickly say, okay, yeah, I think this player can get me that performance because he's won some silverware. Whereas guys at Man United they're not convincing because they haven't won it. The reason why we think Cavani's good at doing it is because Cavani's won a couple of
Somewhere
trophies before. Yeah, and he's fresh.
Yeah.
He's fresh blood.
So if you look at this question
Man
here
United.
now, if you flip the question, you say, okay, Man United are going to challenge for a trophy next year, whatever trophy it is. Is Rashford the man to do it, or would you need another striker to come in? Celo?
No,
And that's an easy question.
We don't need another striker. We need another creative player on the wing, because what you find is that our forwards don't get enough chances. So what you find as Man United is that a player like Danny Ings, for instance, right? Danny Ings gets more chances created for him than a Edison Cavani or a Martial. So our players are not getting the chances. Firstly, you know what I mean? To actually score. That's the problem. Is that the creation is not there. If the creation increases, then that's a different argument. Rashford.
So you're saying you don't need a striker?
No, we don't need a striker. You need
So
to.
if you had an option,
But our problem.
You don't need anything.
But our problem this
season.
season.
Harry Kane or a creative player. Harry Kane or a creative player.
But that's a fair question. I think that's a fair question.
Listen. You guys are not listening to what I'm saying. You guys are just trying to bring about certain arguments that
No, it's not about certain arguments. I think it's just asking the question. It's if you had to ask me, Harry Kane
listen.
but now you see now.
But listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. How many goals?
But we've been listening. It's 27 minutes of listening.
Let the loss sink in.
I might as well leave the show.
Don't get sour, man.
I might as well leave the show.
Don't be sour this.
I'm trying to speak.
Longest talk in the season of abuse, man.
I'm not trying to speak.
Just one loss, my man.
I'm trying to speak.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
I'm trying to speak. I'm trying to speak. But it's cool.
There's always next season.
I think we've touched on this topic for long enough, because clearly you're not trying to listen. You're not trying to listen. If you look at
all I can tell you is
how many goals has Man United conceded this season? How many goals has Man United conceded this season? Please tell me.
All right, Bongo, what did you want to say there?
No, I'm saying Man United's second in the league. They got knocked out the Champions League, but then they went down to the final of that Europa. I don't know. Is their problem a striker? Is that what their problem is? Is that what they struggled with this year, was scoring goals?
Wasn't scoring goals.
No.
Exactly.
So I don't think getting a striker.
The defensive side of things, you can't be a team that's always trailing, right? That whole trailing business caught up with us eventually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a game against West Brom where we managed to draw. Then there's a game against Sheffield where we lost. You know what I mean? There's countless times.
Even last night was the case of it as well.
Exactly. So now you end up drawing instead of maybe winning 1-0, for instance. Sometimes you just need to win 1-0 to win the game. Man United, there's been very few games where we won 1-0. We would rather win 2-1 after coming back from being 1-0 down. And that literally catches up with you eventually, which happened yesterday. Caught up with us. So Man United defense is shocking. Defensive mid, that McFred rubbish is shocking. That's where Man United needs to reinforce. You know what I mean?
Rubbish.
That's rubbish, right? All of your defensive minded players are better than ours. Fabinho, Conte, Partey. I don't know who plays defensive for Newcastle, but those guys are better than McFred. You know what I mean? Those are the players that we would need in our team. Your guys' midfields are stronger because of your Fabinhos and Contes and Parteys. Ours doesn't. Else, you need to play 2 players for those for that one player. How can you have 2 players for one position? You know what I mean? And then doesn't allow Pogba to play in the midfield. But
so answer that question there from Pumalani then. Who goes, Fred or McTominay?
No, you need a squad, guys. Why do you need to get rid of players? You need a squad.
Hey, he's asking the question.
But
If you had to
somebody must
choose
go,
one, again,
because
it's
even, like,
theoretical.
the players that you're looking for, don't you have to give up talent like Martial?
You don't need to. You don't need to, guys. Guys, you Musa, you talking and saying I must give up players when you have a squad. You have the second best squad in the league, and you telling me to sell players. We need to build a squad. Man United, that's the problem, is that we don't have a squad. You know, you telling me to sell players, but you have a nice squad. What are you trying to tell me? You know what I mean? I'm trying to build a team where there's 2 players for each position. But you're telling me to sell? Come on, Musa, you're selfish, bruh. You're the same guy. You're the same guy who signed 6 players. You're the same guy who signed 6 players and let go of 2. But you're telling me to sell? Come on, Musa.
Look, it was just a question that Pumalani's put out there. He's asked the question.
No.
Offload players. Like even Chelsea had to offload players to get new players in. It's kind of like the factor.
Okay,
the
guys.
likes of Hazard, Willian, everybody that we've had to
that's
offload
not last season. That's not now. You guys have players. You guys have countless, but you need to always have it's a squad system, guys. It's a squad game. That's where Liverpool came up. That's where Liverpool came up.
Going back to Rashford. Okay, will Rashford, if Harry Kane had to get injured, win England a Euro final?
He doesn't play striker.
No.
He plays. He's a wide forward. He's a wide forward.
He can be instrumental.
I don't think he'll even like.
So if Harry Kane's injured, they won't put him up front.
No, they won't put him up front because that's not Rashford's strength. Rashford is very poor.
So who will they put up front if Harry Kane's injured?
Calvert-Lewin, rather, because you know the problem is with Rashford. Firstly, no, listen, Rashford has shown, right? Rashford,
he's a winger type of player.
He can't play with his back against the goal. His heading ability is very poor. So imagine now there's an amazing cross from Shaw or Chilwell or whoever the right back is. Rashford's not going to hit the ball into the net. He won't, man. Rashford is not. I've never seen Rashford score a headed goal. Rashford is a wide forward. That's what he is, and that's what he's good at. He's good at running on the sides, not in the middle, man.
But he had a weak performance because I don't think he was prioritizing that yesterday. It felt like he was trying to find himself always in the middle, trying to act like the second striker more than he was out wide making his runs.
Could have been the tactics.
Wonga, I got good news for Wonga, guys. Just to change the topic here. Roma in talks to sign Arsenal Xhaka, and this is how you know Mourinho has lost his mind. Anyway, all right.
Next topic.
No. Before next topic. Settle, overall, just to answer what Jason asked early on, and I know we did the team rankings on Tuesday, but overall, your thoughts with regards to whether or not this was a successful season for Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a successful season. I think we need to commend him and his team for getting what is it from 66 to 74 points, I think it is. So I think that's an 8-point improvement, 1 position improvement. We can say that you've improved, but also there's a lot of areas that still need to be improved. You need to be realistic as well as a fan. The guy won't get fired. He won't get fired. He's got 1 more year left.
More money.
He's got 1 more year left on his contract, and they're discussing a new contract for him. And I think the owners are the way they are, so they'll definitely stick with him. They're not owners that are looking to.
Okay, so it wasn't a successful season. It wasn't a successful season.
So just according to what you're saying and what I've heard recently, the rumors are that your new kit, away kit's going to be silver because it suits you.
Anyway, on that note, it's time. It's the Champions League final talk. Chelsea or Man City versus Chelsea, rather. Moses Sissela, you've been absent, and we've come up with a bit of a pattern. You tend to duck and dive when your side loses, particularly against Wonga's Arsenal, and on the weekend's game against Aston Villa. You never make the appearance. He's never available somehow. But he's here ready to talk about the Champions League final. And something tells me that if Chelsea do not win, or when Chelsea do not win this final, he will probably not be here on Tuesday again. to receive what Wonga has received, what I've received, what Selo's receiving, what Nick receives on the daily. Right, Moses. So, how do you think this is going to play out?
Yeah. What are you guys busy receiving right now that I'm not aware of? The paint. No, man. Like, yeah, it's been a tough few weeks for Chelsea at this point in time. We do know the recent history between Chelsea and Man City. That Chelsea have managed to get good results against Man City in the past 2 games. It's a different beast. It's a whole another beast going into the Champions League final. One game that matters. It matters, as Silo has witnessed now. It matters as much as an entire season's work. It's easy to forget all the hard work that was put in, all the progress that was put into the club this season. It's crazy for me as a Chelsea fan to witness us going from a Lampard scenario where beginning of the season things are looking promising and exciting, and then took a massive slump during that period to get to a point where we actually then made a decision to hire a new manager. And Tuchel has done well. He's done well on various metrics at the club. I think the players and the team are looking better. They're looking more of a unit than ever before. They've gotten results against City in the past month and a half where I thought, it would be fair for us to consider that City would be taking those games from us. And yeah, I'm hoping that the boys do best over the weekend. It's not going to be easy against the City team, but I think, so far the gents have managed to impress against City this season.
So Musa, yeah. I think the big question is Werner the type of striker who's going to make you lift the trophy?
It's come this way.
That's a big one.
Oh, no.
Big question, man.
And
you know what? That's all we can see.
No.
That's all we can see there is Timo Werner.
That's such a Claudio question.
Literally, that's a nightmare question. It's tough. Fuck. We have other strikers, other strikers that are doing very well. Whenever they get an opportunity, they put their hands up for the team. A lot of players have done that for Chelsea this season where if the coach gave them a little bit of faith, the player would go out and do a very good job for the team and the coach.
And then
I hope he could do that. Yeah, I hope he could do that for Abrahams or Giroud. It would be a nice kind of...
Tammy, coming out of nowhere to start.
Not to start. I think Werner is going to start. Like, that's already written in some stone in Tuchel's pocket. But I think for them to come on, because they do add something different. Sometimes Werner is a little bit more aggressive and does make a few more runs and does disturb the defenders. But sometimes he gives you nothing on the day, and that's my frustration in a Champions League final. We can't give him too many opportunities to prove his worth. Like, he has to get one shot, one chance, and convert it, which is important for me.
That's a final, yeah.
So do you back your coach to make a sub before 100 minutes at least?
Please, yeah, it'd be most definitely rewarding.
There's no doubt about that. Tuchel can even make a sub after 30 minutes, bro.
Hudson-Odoi felt
he's that cutthroat, bro.
Yeah,
he can definitely. He's decisive, man. Not these weaklings. Call from
and
nowhere,
you can
bro.
see it in their eyes. You can see it in their eyes. Like, actually, now that I think about it, Ole reminded me of David Moyes there yesterday, but how David Moyes was throughout his whole Man United career. That's the first time I've seen Ole have that moment. And last night he had that moment where his eyes were just doing this the whole time.
That look of bewilderment, like, what the fuck is going on? What must I do? I'm an imposter here. I need to prove it.
That's what it felt like.
Exactly. So,
but we're going back there. So from Chelsea's point of view, who do you think is going to start? What's the setup going to be? How do you think they're going to approach the game, also?
I heard Conte was back in training today. Actually, he started his training today for the game. That'll be exciting for me to see him on the field. He'll beef up that midfield and give us a lot of energy there. I think Thiago Silva will also get a good opportunity to start from the centre back, which is nice. Mendy should be back as well. So I think we're going to start with Mendy from the goal post, Chilwell, Thiago Silva and Rudiger, and Azpilicueta as the right back. Then the centre mids will be Jorginho and Conte. you'll find, I think, I'd love to see Kai Havertz coming in there with Mason Mount and potentially Pulisic, but Pulisic or Ziyech, and then seeing Timo Werner up front. But yeah, that's going to be up to the coach and what he sees at training for the gents, because you need them to come in hot. And once Kai Havertz, to me, has been very, very surprising and very promising towards the end of the season. And I think if we were to give him the chance, it seems like he has nerves of steel under these kind of BMT situations. And I think it'd be exciting to see him coming from my view. But we'll see.
I see some rumors with Callum Hudson-Odoi being linked with Dortmund. Apparently, they're preparing to finally sell him, and the boy's still young.
Still very young. I think that's what I was talking about, Silo. It is possible to offload a couple of players and still gain depth in your squad. Like for us, I think it's going to be players like Callum Hudson-Odoi who have done pretty well whenever they've been given the opportunity, but might find that they have to go. There's
my friend, you're comparing apples with pears now. McFred and Hudson-Odoi. I understand.
Imagine this guy now.
That's true.
But think about it.
But it makes sense.
Your wide areas. Your wide areas. You've got Ziyech, you've got Pulisic, you've got Hudson-Odoi, you've got also Werner who can play in a wide position. You've got then Mount who can also play in a wide position. Man United, you've got Rashford, Greenwood, and Martial and Dan James. That's about it. You know what I mean? And the one guy wasn't fit yesterday. And then you got Cavani up front, and that's about it. You know what I mean? Whereas you guys still have Havertz, you got Tammy Abraham, you got Giroud, you've got options. Teams just need to have options. Look at Man City. Man City plays Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Sterling. Sterling can't even get into the team. You know what I mean? They've got Ferran Torres on the bench. They got Aguero, Jesus. They've got so many options. Because that's the squad game now. It's because you play in so many competitions. You have to have that squad depth. That's why Liverpool didn't do well, is because they didn't have the squad depth. Now they're trying to build it.
The whole back line was out, but yeah, sure.
But I'm just saying, like, but in an attacking force, Liverpool were poor this beginning of the season because they rely on three players.
Most of the season.
They rely on three players. Then the fourth guy who comes in hot, he gets injured. Do you know what I mean? At least if they had another guy, a fifth option, like I don't know who, but because
and that's a crazy thing, right? Like we're talking about Chelsea, we're talking about strikers who could play there. The likes of Giroud and Abrahams are also, if they don't watch out for themselves, they have to move on to another club to get.
Apparently, Abraham's also being linked with the move to Dortmund.
Or you're gonna do a Tammy Abraham plus money to get Harry Kane. That's another rumor. And then another rumor is that you want Romelu Lukaku to come back because Inter Milan, they have to sell players.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in the sports section.
They have to sell players, but we digress. But let's look at the Man City side of things, guys. We can't focus on Chelsea alone. We need to look at the favorites into the final. The guys are going to be.
But also, how do we think this game's going to play out? I mean, we all know Man City's going to be favorites. We all know they're probably going to have. They're going to have the possession. They're going to do the thing that they do. But which game? I mean, it's not that Chelsea haven't had a result against them, So it's like it's one of those things. That is the nice thing. So, do you think Tuchel takes the same approach? Do you think Pep Guardiola overthinks it like he normally does in a Champions League game? Nick, how do you think this thing's sort of going to play out?
I think City are going to be too strong. You can't take Chelsea for granted, but more so sorry, bro. I think the way they've been playing, I think finishing off that season with a 5-0 win there at home, I just don't see how it goes any other way. And I think the fact that you've actually beaten them twice is going to work to your detriment, because I don't think they're going to let it happen 3 times. But you do have that other sort of aspect where Pep does go into these games. It hasn't happened yet this season, but there's high stakes. Anything can happen in a final, guys. Someone can get a red card in the first 4 minutes, 5 minutes there. That changes the whole complexion of the game. So, I think it might actually be quite cagey initially until the first goal scored. And if the first goal scored by City, you will see Chelsea opening up, going at it, and then you either got a game on where it's going to become 1-1 and then end to end, or if Chelsea are going to open and City are going to take advantage of that, it might be, as Jason said, City running riot. So, I do suspect Chelsea won't go gung-ho against a very, obviously, well-oiled machine of City. I think they will be a bit more conservative, especially in the first 30 to 40 minutes, and then see what they can get. Classic Steve Bruce sort of tactics. I wouldn't be surprised if I see them seeing if they're in the game at 60 minutes and then, sort of going for it.
Launch.
Makes sense.
Steve Bruce tactics.
Yeah, maybe you find him there on the bench there with Tuchel. They're giving him some pointers.
Yes, but I want to ask about the consequences of both scenarios. So and I want everyone to think about it and give their input here. If Man City win the Champions League, obviously the first in their history, Pep Guardiola then wins another European tournament after Barcelona. Where does this put Pep Guardiola in terms of his stature as a manager? And is it somewhat, do people diminish it because of the teams he's gone to and the resources he's had at his disposal? And then the second thing is, what happens in the scenario from Tuchel's perspective if he doesn't win this? So from being in a FA Cup final, from being in a Champions League final, and just by the scrape of his backside getting into top 4, what happens here moving forward in both sort of scenarios?
I personally think, sorry, I'm jumping in again, but I personally think on your first point, Claudio, I think there's been many managers in the past that have had the resources that City have had, and they haven't done it. So if he does do it, yes, he's gone to good teams, but you still have to go and do it. You still have to go and get the results week in, week out, go and win the league. Yes, go buy your players. Yes, you've got an endless budget, but other managers have had endless budgets and they haven't got it right. So I think he will have to go down as one of the greatest. And I have no doubt he'll do it again, more than likely in his career at City or somewhere else. And it might even be again at Barcelona eventually. But then I do think with regards to Tuchel, I think this season or this quarter of a season or half of a season is really a free hit for him. If he gets to 2 finals, loses 2 finals, and still gets Champions League, what are you going to say? You're going to say it's a poor season? No, they just went and
he saved
sort it. He saved it, gave the fans hope, and if they win it, he'll go down in history as an absolute legend. And whether it's full, whether it's not, he's had a full go. To get to a final from where they were when they were with Lampard, you would never have said that. You would never have said that when they sacked Frank Lampard. Would anyone have said Chelsea will get to a Champions League final? No one.
Never.
Not one.
At best, the FA Cup final. At best, but never.
It's funny that Williams come out saying he wants to go back to Chelsea, guys. I'm just putting that out there. Anyway,
what a cow, bro. What the heck? Like, what the heck? He's first comes and he says Champions. They signed him for Champions League. What? You can see this guy's just signed for money, bro. It meant nothing. This guy's
he's chasing the
because
money,
they have to speak. Yeah, he does nothing. He wants to go back. What's he gonna do at Chelsea?
Yeah, and he's giving you guys nothing there. One guy, he's giving you guys nothing.
Absolutely. Like, if he gave us 10% of what he did at Chelsea, we'll be okay. But he gave us 0.
10% of what
he did nothing. Take him back, bro. Take him. And I respect that, but I respected that guy. As one of my honestly, I like Willian. I first saw him when he was playing at Shakhtar, and when he went to Chelsea doing the thing.
But remember how he went to Chelsea, guys? Let's not forget how he went there. He was at one stage he was going to Liverpool. Then it was done deal. He was going to Spurs, and then the 11th hour, boy, he was wearing a blue shirt.
Let's go to the Blues.
But he was hot, man. He was hot property, bro. Hot. And this is why, man. Yeah, but let's go back.
But this sounds like another fan saying more stuff about Unai Emery. You used to believe in him, and now you hate him, and now look, he's won the Europa again.
Yeah.
What has Arsenal done to him?
I never had anything for Unai Emery before he got to Arsenal. I can't remember who I wanted to be there, but when he came, I knew I didn't want him there. And I
Okay.
don't change my feelings, even though he won yesterday. I don't change anything.
Yeah,
I would not want him back.
because he didn't win with you.
No.
That's why.
No. No, I don't want him back. No.
All right.
But yeah,
Back to
to
the questions.
the questions.
I think with Pep, guys, it's yeah, I mean, like Nick said, guys, other managers, what's this guy, Mancini and Pellegrini, they had the resources, I think, cool, yes, some of them are the ones that brought in your Agueros, your Fernandinhos, your companies. So they had the players, the Yaya Torres, Pellegrini got to the semi-final of the Champions League with City and lost to Madrid. So they have been the opportunity to go further and actually win the competition. But Pep, what he's done at Man City, what he did at Barça, those 2 Champions Leagues that he won there, and the style of play, I think that's also crucial. He's never changed the style of play. He's gone into different countries and he's implemented different styles, changed. He revolutionized certain things, the use of a false 9, using Fabregas as a false 9 at Barça. Sometimes, now he's doing it again with a false 9. He doesn't really need a striker to win. So I think, yeah, he'll go down as definitely one of the greatest ever managers. Up there with the other greats that we've had. So I think he's definitely one of the greats. And then Tuchel, yeah, man, hey. Frank did Chelsea dirty. He could have. They could have been Arsenal. They could have been Arsenal this season.
Yeah, if we weren't careful.
If they weren't careful, they could have been Arsenal. But as Roman Abramovich
it always comes back to you.
Is decisive.
The heat was on for the first half of the show.
Roman Abramovich is a shrewd man. He cuts the plug. And yeah, he changed things around, and then Tuchel has gotten to this far, Champions League secured for next season, and then a chance to win their second Champions League. So I think, yeah, it won't affect his, him going to next season. He needs a full preseason to actually work with the guys. But yeah, it's been a good season for Chelsea, and yeah, man, everyone wants to play in the Champions League final.
Yeah. I agree, man. I reckon 100%. With Pep at the helm of any team, you feel like your team has got some type of interest in winning the league in whichever country you're going to be playing in, and competing for Champions League from that same team. And that's something that he's kind of trademarked as what he does and brings, while uplifting and developing the culture about how they play football in every team that he goes to. He innovates as he enters different leagues, innovates with the type of players. And what's nice is, like, under his managership, players actually improve. Players 100%. Get better and better week in, week out as they mature in the game. And it shows you how invested he is with the game, how invested he is with both positions, and how he knows how to develop talent. It's not sometimes just the money that he brings to the club. It's that those expertise and the ability to develop the talent. So I think he is definitely one of the greats already. With his track record so far, barring the money, considering the teams that he's clubbed at and the philosophies that he's embedded there, he's one of the greats so far. Whether he'll do it at Man City this weekend, I of course hope not. But I wouldn't be too heartfelt if he does, because of how they've progressed it's been a 3-year project for Man City and Pep to get to this point, and that you can't take anything away from that. He's built his structure up, he's built his team up over that time to compete for this Champions League, and yeah, that's fair on them. In terms of Tuchel, the man must sign another contract extension immediately, because he's staying no matter what happens from here on in. Yeah. He's staying, and he's done enough to prove his point that he's a top-notch manager. He knows how to turn around the team. He knows how to pump up players and bring out some really good sparks of imagination from a team that he's working with. So he's done exceptionally well without even us winning this Champions League. I don't say he's not going to figure it out, because he may have the ability to figure it out, but what he's done to this team is good enough for him to get another season, and hopefully then have a bit more time to structure it and build it to be competing with the best of the best.
Right, Wonga has taken off his hat because he wants to let the thoughts roam free now. So let's hear your opinion there, Wonga.
No, I'm just. Well, if Pep wins it, I reckon they make a statue outside the stadium with him holding a cigar in his mouth. That's going around now. But yeah, look, I mean, obviously, you guys said the reasons. Either way, I think Pep's a good manager. I think there'll always be that debate, and there is probably a bit of truth in it. But again, like Nick said, you have to do the job. If Tuchel wins it as well, yeah, I don't think it'll be a right thing to fire him. Although he is sort of going through a bit of a difficult period now. I think losing 3 out of 4 games, and making the fourth. He made it, but by the skin of his teeth. But yeah, I don't think they'll be firing him. The team looks different. They look better. But yeah, it would be just icing on the cake for him if he gets this final. And looking at the final, I don't think, in my own opinion, I don't think it'll be just to be honest, I don't think it'll be a landslide. I think Chelsea do have what it takes to beat Man City from what I've seen them during the day. But a downfall would be that Tino Werner has only scored 35 matches, 6 goals. Very, very poor compared to other seasons. And you'd need him to
is
score.
behind you, son. Just behind Jonathan. Just behind
I think Tony
in the final.
I think he's got the same amount of goals. He's got the same amount of goals as Tony Abraham, but and Tony Abraham's played 22 games.
Tony.
So yeah, so you look at the difference there. But yeah, he has to score. You'll get a chance. Oh, 2, but he has to put them away.
He'll miss.
Just a quick one, guys. I know you spoke about Chelsea made it at the skin of their teeth, by the skin of their teeth of top 4. Yeah. Can I quickly ask you a question here? Are you guys for VAR or not for VAR? Simple question.
I'm for it.
You for it?
I've never liked it, man.
Okay, Monga, you might change your mind after this. Yeah, Claudio, you?
Dude, I think if it's going to take time to get right. No. Can't I be Silo here? Silo's had so much time to do this.
Because I'm going to give you a stat. Yes or no? Would you have taken it at the start of the season if you knew what was going to happen?
I know what that's going to give us.
No.
But I say I'm for it.
I would have said no. Start of this. If I know not, I would have said no. Because of how we were impacted alone. Liverpool was impacted.
Give us what you're giving us.
Okay, so if there was no VAR, Liverpool would have finished second. Man United would have finished third. And guess where Chelsea would have finished?
Chelsea.
Outside of the top 4. And the team that would have replaced you, guess who it is?
Newcastle.
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
But look at the log. The log is
no ways.
I promise you.
We can't allow Arsenal to get up there.
It's a funny thing, Nick. But look at the log. It's Chelsea are 4th. They're only 7 points.
6
game and a draw. 6 games ahead of.
So it's Man City with 80. Man City would have -1 point. Liverpool would have +3, so they'd be on 72. Man United would have -3 points, so they'd be on 71. Arsenal +4 on 65. Yeah. You would have edged Chelsea, would have had -2, also on 65.
Where's Edmund? I don't change my mind. Did you see how far Liverpool would have jumped? Well, not jumped. Would have finished 1 place up because of that.
But but Liverpool didn't have the rub of the green with regards. That was just how it went this season. But I do think the technology, if it's used correctly and then getting used to, I mean, there is value. It's just how they're using it right now.
We figure out the correctly stuff, man. Like those goals that we saw.
But I don't want to get into VAR. But
the lines are on top of each other.
But think about it. Guys, I don't like. So that's how sports is, guys. It's literally margins. It's those centimeters. It's the same thing with the goal line tech. It's just it's accurate, but even the goal line technology, like when the whole ball is passed, those are margins. It comes down to a millimeter at the end of the day.
That's so just have to try
if
the ball's like 90% over, it's over.
VAR sometimes it gets it so It's the margin that they might be working at might be a very, very small margin. It might be a width of a hair length.
It's the same as the one at the ball. It's the same. It's the same margin.
They must change their
Either
software.
there
They
or
have to figure out.
I don't
They have
agree.
to figure out
But
more
they
of
must
those
figure it
rules with the
Yeah, they have to figure it out, but it's the same.
Like, yeah, some like that. Was it against Tottenham played? I think it was Liverpool recently, where Harry Kane was in line with the defender, and
Yeah.
literally the VAR line for onside and offside were sitting on top of each other, and like what happens in those occasions? They say literally the end of his soccer boot was literally a millimeter out, which is
That's hard.
I don't know, man.
The technology either becomes, it has to just become maybe more precise so everyone can see it, but it'll always, at the end of the day, be a small margin. It'll always be a margin.
Yeah.
Whether you make it his body, you say no, his scoring parts or his foot or whatever, it'll always come down to a small margin. Some point in time, it'll always do this.
But it's not a 100-meter dash, bro. It shouldn't come down to that, in my opinion. But anyway, we're just gonna give our final.
That's what the rules say.
We're gonna come down to
across 8.76
That's how all the sports are. That's how all the
No,
sports are.
okay. Guys, just to round off, we're gonna have the betting corner. We're gonna have the betting corner. We're gonna give our predictions for this Champions League final. And welcome, Louis, as the Man City fan. You're gonna hear the predictions. Also, if you haven't joined our Discord channel yet, for those of you who are watching us now, please feel free. Join in the banter where we are on our day-to-day and how we discuss football away from the actual live sort of visual daily. Yes, yep. But yes, back to the betting corner predictions. We're going to start with Wonga. We're going to go Nick. We're going to go Selo. We're going to go me, and we're going to end off with the Chelsea boy. And then please, Louis, feel free to let us know your thoughts too. Right, Wonga, let's hear it.
And Pumlani.
And of course, Pumalani.
Chelsea's taking it for sure.
City have been strong. They've had a good season. Tuchel's come in and changed the Chelsea side, and at times I think Chelsea look very, very, very good. And I won't lie, I honestly don't know which way it's going to go. So I will say 2-2 draw in the match, going to extra time, and then Chelsea. I'm not Chelsea. Man City will take it at the end. 3-2.
Come on, Wonga. Come on, man.
It's a final, and you say we're going to see 5 goals. This is a final. And when last did we see? Can someone pull up a stat in terms of when last did we see how many goals in a final?
And you chose
they
the wrong
both score against each other. I'm pretty sure we'll see lots of goals in this final.
I want to see that.
They should go Chelsea's way.
So for me, okay, I'm thinking selfishly now. But obviously, I'd like the game to go into extra time so we can enjoy more. But I'm going to have beers and drink quite a few beers while I watch this game, and I'm going to be at a pub. But now I'm just checking the time of the game. If it goes into extra time, I'm going to have to leave the pub and rush somewhere to watch. So I might just have to go with City winning 2-1.
Pums has said 2-1 Chelsea. Pums has your back there. He's saying 2-1 Chelsea.
Pums, thank you, Pums.
I say
he's definitely not going to say Chelsea. I can guarantee you that. After the beginning of the show,
I'm going to go for the other Manchester team. So look, you're going for the other Manchester team. You must think about it. Think about it. You can't help it. Next game in your hometown. Your hometown, guys are walking around.
Musa, I live in South Africa. I don't live in Manchester. And I know probably 2 Manchester City fans in this whole world, and I know so many Chelsea fans. You guys are unbearable. I
feel the same way about Man United fans.
No, we're just so many. That's why we're unbearable. So I like you. It's gonna be a 2-1 Man City.
Sorry, I'm just reading the stats here. Most goals in the final UEFA Champions League is Real Madrid. Gareth Bale. I was there for that one, unfortunately, sitting with Real Madrid friends. Real Madrid 3, Liverpool 1. And again, this is where, you see, guys, this is where it gets interesting. Both these finals have a Liverpool team in it. So here's another one. AC Milan, Liverpool 3-3. So that's 6 goals. So 4 goals, 6 goals. Obviously, Filippo Inzaghi doing his thing. And again, another one, Liverpool game. AC Milan 2, Liverpool 1. So, geez, that's 3 finals, including Liverpool. So at least you know
only Liverpool was in the final, huh?
Yeah, if only.
All this
We got
Liverpool,
AC Milan.
talk.
AC Milan 4, Barcelona 0 back in 94. We've got Bayern.
That's a hiding, eh? Yo.
Yeah, that is
Thanks
a
for
hiding in
bringing
the
that up.
final. But I feel like that
It's
might
Barca.
happen. That might happen on Saturday. Bayern 2, Inter 2, Bayern 0, and then Dortmund 3, Juventus 1. Geez, when was that? That was in 97.
97. Yeah, 97. Yeah.
That was
And then-
when, do you remember that coach Lambert, the one who used to coach?
Yes.
What was his first name? Not Adam.
He was at
Lambert.
Aston
no.
Villa.
Yeah.
He used to coach Norwich even, I think, right? At some point.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played. He played in that.
He
final.
played for Dortmund back then. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously the last one there, Juventus 1, Real Madrid 4 in 2017. Interesting. Thank you, admin person, statistician there. We've got real Opta stats there on the end of the line. Right, back to my prediction now for the game. I'm stalling. I mean, look, it's going to be one way. We know Man City are going to win it. It's a given. It's one of those things. And I think it's a good farewell. It's just because it's omens. Aguero said he'd win it before he left with City. And I think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be one of those sort of like the Liverpool-Tottenham final. It's going to be routine. If they score early, it's going to stay like that. They're going to dominate the game, and there's going to be nothing. It's just going to be a routine sort of thing. But I'm hoping it's going to be a 3-1 victory, just so we can see some goals. It's going to be 1-0 up. Obviously, Chelsea are going to have to go for it, and then they're going to be exposed, and Man City are going to seal the deal. 3-1.
Ooh,
First
3
of
even.
all, sure. You guys are breaking my heart. First of all, you should know that.
Don't
That's
break my
the
heart.
disclaimer.
My achy, breaky heart.
Breaking heart. And second of all, it's good to know that you guys do consider us as the underdogs coming into this game. It's, I think, the same way Villarreal went into their game last night, and it's a better place to go into a game of this magnitude because it's they'll have all of the hard work to do and prove that they're the better team on the day, whereas we'll beat them on the counter and try and take them on counter attacks, which is stylistically it's a more impressive and more expensive approach that we have now, which should assist us a lot if Timo Werner can convert the chances he gets. So I do think Chelsea, although it won't be a convincing win, I do think we have the opportunities and the counter-attacking prowess to get us a few goals on the day, and I think we'll get the win from those counters. Especially if Man City do come and boss the game, we'll catch them on the back foot and then take it from there. So I do see us winning this game 2-1 based on those counters over the course of the day, gentlemen. Shout out
And
to
goal
you.
scorers?
Let's
So two
go.
goals. Who's going to score for Chelsea?
Timo Werner, the first one even. Timo Werner, the first one.
Yeah. Now you've
And
lied
then,
to yourself, my friend.
Live.
This
This is a real dream. This is a real dream, guys. Eh?
Wait, I want to ask the question. Seeing as we threw the Rashford sort of question out here, if he does score the winner, say it's a 1-0 or 2-1, and Werner scores the winner,
Yeah.
I think moving forward into the next season, that's a big boost for him. But how do you rate his season then if he scores the winning Champions League goal for Chelsea?
Okay.
I'd say the season was used to allow him to take some time to adjust to English Premier League. So in terms of his goal scoring and his sharpness, not okay, as Wanga would put it, not
Is
okay.
he going to the Euros?
He should be going to the Euros in Germany.
He was picked. He's going to start. They start
Germany
with
starts.
Serge Gnabry, Sane, and him up front. Yeah, front three.
Yeah. So he should have a good summer as well, and maybe his second season he'll have a lot more to prove and a lot more knowledge about the English Premier League and what
He has a
requires.
lot to prove.
Yeah, a lot of
There's a lot
strikers
to
do go through
prove.
that though. Like especially when they come to the English Premier League or at Chelsea specifically, they take a season or so to just get there. They get to know the city, get to know the people, get to know the culture, and then
Fernando Torres,
Torres, Didier Drogba,
Shevchenko, yeah.
Didier Drogba fired from day one, bro.
No, he wasn't fired from day one. He took like a season and a bit just to get his bearings right, and then that's where you start to see the Drogba that came to the party for Chelsea, winning them the Champions League and all. It wasn't from day one then.
All right, so we kind of all gave our predictions there. To end off, we're going to have a bit of the source that's come out for the day today. Akhil's already touched on it, and it's the one that's kind of leading the headlines across news media outlets. And the first one is Pochettino in talks for Spurs return. Gentlemen, is this a good or bad thing? Number one for Poch and for Spurs.
I reckon because Zidane has left, Perez has sent him a WhatsApp. I've got sources. My sources are telling me that that Perez sent him a WhatsApp and said, "Hey man, Zidane has left. Do you want to come here rather?" So hey man, but I think I if I was Poch, I wouldn't go back to Spurs, man. I think Spurs are about to lose their best player in Harry Kane. It doesn't make sense to be going backwards in your career. You had PSG. Yes, I hear that him and the sporting director aren't getting along at PSG, but Real Madrid is available, and if Real Madrid gives you a phone call, answer the call.
It's a dream come true.
Don't avoid that call, that WhatsApp that was sent. Just answer it, because this might be the only opportunity you have to coach Real Madrid, and take it. You know what I mean? Because I think Massimiliano Allegri is going to join Juventus, so he was the front runner for the Madrid job, but he said that Madrid are taking too long. So I would take it, man.
But you know who I think is going to be kicking themselves the most in this whole situation if he goes back to Spurs is Man United. Because he wanted Poch for so long, and he might go to PSG and then back to Spurs, and then you stuck with Ole the man. Ole the man.
The man.
We stuck with him for a lot. We stuck with him for a very long time, bro. The owners that we have, they didn't even know. They probably didn't even know we were playing a final yesterday.
But here's the other one though. Conte leaving. Sorry, I think there's Conte leaving Inter Milan. I mean, so you've got that as an option there, right? So you've got Zidane who's free, you've got Conte who's free, and right now those are two at the present moment. If you're Man United, are these viable options for the club? Not we're all sitting in the corner that they're not going to consider this, but should these be viable options for Man United?
Yeah, Zidane definitely, bro. Definitely, Zidane definitely, bro. Pogba will sign a new contract tomorrow. He would, if they appoint Zidane today, Pogba will sign the next day. That's his one of his favorite players, growing up. So he'll sign the next day. There won't even be a question about it. We'll even get Varane. I know that for sure. But because there's a greater pull with Zidane, and I think, if I was a Man United, I would definitely take Zidane. Conte is a bit of a Mourinho light. Man, he's
proven winner.
Proven winner. No, 100% proven winner. Like Jose, he causes. There's always be tensions with him. Because that's why he's leaving Inter, is because of the tensions. Because Inter,
but what are the tensions? You know the tensions. Let's hear this tension.
They don't want to strengthen the squad firstly, and they're telling him they will have to sell some of his star players. So if you're a coach and they're telling you that you might have to sell Lukaku or Skriniar or Barella or Barella, or Lautaro Martinez, your best 4 or 5 players, if you might have to sell 2 of your best 5 players, that's not good. Your core of your team. So I think in that regard, I've seen now that Simone Inzaghi from Lazio, the coach who was coaching Lazio, is going to take over Inter. It's a merry-go-round in Italy. Spalletti is going to coach Napoli. Gattuso is going to Fiorentina. It's a bit of a merry-go-round, similar to what's going on in Germany. So yeah, I mean, he wasn't being backed, and he's leaving now. I think he's obviously won that backing. And last season was the same thing. He almost left last season as well, and they convinced him to stay because they said, "Okay, cool, we'll get you some signings that you want, and you can stay." But he wanted to leave, so there was always these tensions. But it just shows you the financial situation that the Milan clubs are in.
The Italian clubs, the Italian club. Like, how does this affect Serie A? Like, if we look in Serie A, because you got AC Milan to lose the goalkeeper if he goes, Donnarumma. That's a big player. We've got Pedro leaving Juventus, Ronaldo possibly on the way out. So in terms of, we know how coronavirus has impacted most global leagues, all the world, But in particular, we know there's a lot of foreign investment that's coming in. Inter is a great example where they took a £250 million loan out, and that's what they're trying to recoup now. So they've just won the league for the first time in 11 years, but this is the sort of money. So where does it leave the league? That in Serie A, for example, they've just seen one of the most exciting leagues in the last recent years, and now they might be losing all these star players. And again, that impacts them financially moving forward from broadcasting rights, et cetera, et cetera. So these are all consequential things. And from Conte's perspective, you're going to think to yourself, I'm here to win things. They promised me.
Yeah.
He's also losing favor in Italy because Italy, it's not all about the money. It's about the purity of the sport. But again, if we're tying it back to Real Madrid, is Conte then not the perfect man for Real Madrid, at least for a season or two, to maybe win silverware?
I think if he goes there, he's definitely going to be wanting players. That's for sure. I think Zidane did a good job to even finish second
with the
squad that he had and get to a Champions League semi-final. It was a semi-final, and you if you look at the squad now and the squad that he had when he won it 3 times in a row. I mean, even winning it 3 times in a row was a feat for itself. That's why I think I see Pumlani says Zidane is not cut for the Premier League, but I think Zidane, I think he would definitely have something to prove there. I think he could do something. But yeah, I think if Conte goes there, definitely he would want to buy players. If you look at the team that he had Inter Milan and how many players he bought, yes, he literally got a whole new squad, and he justified it with the result in the day. I mean, last season he finished second, but he did it again and he won clean throughout. I mean, there was no competitor but Inter Milan in that.
Right. Yeah, so all I heard from all of that was Steve Bruce to Man United. Sorry, but
Steve Bruce, boy.
Please. You can have him for free.
I feel sorry for Man United because, you know, on one side, there is that element that there is measurable and tangible success happening in terms of numbers on the log and points that you've collected in this previous season with Ole. But on the other side, it's like with Ole, how much further can you go? And that it doesn't look promising at this point in time, but you kind of stuck with him for the next season or two with your ownership. Whereas Zidane going to Tottenham would be, yeah, I then even consider like which players would want to leave.
Zidane to Tottenham.
No, I'm just saying like we have to dream, you know, and it'd be nice to consider like even players like Harry Kane, what their sentiments about leaving would be if a manager like Zidane is found in this change room, because that manager has managed to win a lot of trophies and has managed to win the Champions League, which none of the other managers at Tottenham have proven to be able to do. And it might actually be that power that Zidane might have to actually keep players like that on board and excited and, you know, replenished. Kane leaving isn't really a done deal yet, you know. It's still some of those. There are a lot of contractual issues which he has to overcome. He's still locked into the team for 3 years, so it really is up to the team to get to a price which warrants them letting go of that asset for them. And if Zidane comes to that changing room, maybe it won't be that it will be quite exciting for Harry Kane to find himself.
If he gets injured at the Euros, he's not going anywhere. That's also something to take into consideration.
Yeah. And we know he likes rolling his ankles.
But a guy like Zidane as well, I think if you look at him, as Real Madrid, I get the impression that, you know, he's the guy, he's the main man there, you know, because he obviously what he's done for the club as a coach and as a manager. And when after he won that third one, the third Champions League, he left. And it wasn't the club. And then they called him, and then now they called him back to rescue their poor league start. He goes and he rescues it, finishes them second with the squad that he has, and then afterwards he says he leaves again. Like you can see, this guy's literally in control. You know, they want him. That's what, and probably if he's going to a club, it's gonna have to be the same sort of atmosphere. Like I do my thing. You can't tell me, and that's why I say obviously Tottenham's not the team, but
Tottenham. I mean, if he goes to Tottenham, he's gonna have to go there, and despite the debt that they're in, they're gonna have to spend the money that he wants to spend on the players he wants to bring in. That's the only way you get a manager like. That's the only way. Pochettino, maybe, you know, there's prospects. I mean, he said he wants to go back to. But he also says he wants to go back. He wants to, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, he wants to go back to Tottenham eventually. He has openly said
20
that.
years.
Yeah, well, he said before he dies. He did say before he dies. So I mean, that's something. It's something interesting to think about.
Talking about sources, though, like I mean, we're talking about Zidane. I think it's
very sauce or like cello sauce.
No. It's
a sauce
pretty-
or sauce.
saucy. I think this is we're going back to the last summer, going into a summer now. Newcastle are going to get taken over, and the money is going to be there, and Zidane's coming to the northeast.
We laugh
Are we back here again?
It's going to be black and white again.
I actually feel so bad, man. Shame.
Oh man!
You know what's bad about this?
this?
No, but you know what's bad about this? This is like a guy who's got this obsession with the hot girl, but the hot girl doesn't even know he's like alive. But every year he's thinking this hot girl's gonna he's gonna respond to my message, and eventually I'm gonna take off on a date. This
One
I
day
actually
it's
feel
gonna
bad.
happen. One day it's gonna happen, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna replay these laughing moments at my team, and we're gonna be thinking about my team in the PrematchMuti. Building up to a Champions League final with Zidane at the home, and then we're gonna replay this. Yeah, we'll
Fair enough. A man has to dream. A man has to dream.
I love it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Final thoughts before we wrap up.
Good luck,
Chelsea to take it.
Willian must go. Willian out. What? Hashtag Willian out.
What about Shaka? Not even Shaka. You focus on Willian now. Forget Shaka. Shaka's good.
No, what the
Shaka's
hell?
out
We
already.
know Shaka. We know Shaka must go. We know this thing. But Willian, he mustn't have that thing that I think he's got the impression that we want him. Nope, he wants to go. He must go. Please.
Yes, get out of there.
All right.
Back,
Okay.
go.
All right. So we got Chelsea there.
All the best, Chelsea. That's all I gotta say.
All right.
Listen, can I think we need to take Celo out for a beer there just to cheer him up.
Please,
this show has been torture for him. He nearly left us.
Yeah, I was just close.
Watching
Watching
Man United lose yesterday was one of the most exciting nights I've enjoyed in this season's football. It was so nice to watch Man United lose in the fashion that they lost yesterday. It was literally a highlight of my season.
You know, all Celo reminded me of tonight was he just reminded me of like a Bruno Fernandes-esque what he would have done at halftime. You know, just kick the door in, maybe 3, and then just subbed himself off the field. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Right,
I've been prepared for
that.
that. I've been prepared well for that this season because of the way Arsenal have played. So I think I've done that like 7 times. Pretty much used to it.
It's halftime show.
Imagine me, bro. I do that at least 3 times a month, bro. I might get it.
The problem with you, Nick, the problem with you is it's nothing new. It's just a habit now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's something in your routine. For the other guys, it's a new sort of thing. You know,
Monday morning, I'm calling the doorman to come put the door back in. I've got him on speed dial now.
Yeah. All right, guys. To finish the show off, you guys know how to finish the show. The classic Arjun statement.
Stop
Stop
it.
it.